A very good evening to you and welcome back from the weekend. I hope it all went for you. It is the Monday edition of Uctv News. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch as Ramadan Gobi, the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Minister of Finance and Economic Development, has briefed the country on Q3 expenditure releases for financial year 2023-2024. Here are the highlights. Ramadan Gobi is the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Minister of Finance and Economic Development, has provided clarity on the supplementary budgets amounting to 3.492 trillion shillings passed by Parliament, as details follow.
That's the first category. The second category of the supplementary were critical government policy commitments that could not be postponed this financial year, such as the national census, the national population and housing census, which we are going to conduct later this year, mass enrollment of all Ugandans to get IDs and get all the information, biometrics, ahead of the 2026 elections. Then the renewal, that goes with the renewal of national ID. We also needed some money to organize the recently concluded non-allied movement and the G77 summits, which you have been seeing on televisions and everything, have been successful. We needed some money, as well as urgent need to support research and development. Those innovators of Uganda, some of them had not been given money to finalize their innovations, and yet they couldn't wait. So among others, that's the second category. The third category, during the appropriation process for this year's budget by Parliament, the Parliament moved some money in a way that affected our ability as government to meet some existing obligations, as well as critical needs like rural electrification, money for food for remand homes. We had some special grants for people with disabilities. We had some money to pay for oil roads, the ongoing infrastructure development in our oil belt there. Money for research and tuition for some universities like Makerere, among others. Now, these needed corrections. We needed the Parliament to correct them for us to be able to spend that money for those. We went back, convinced them, and they made those corrections. And that was in the supplementary also. The fourth and last major category is the one of meeting statutory and security-related expenditures. We have some mandatory expenditures we had to make this year, which can't wait. For example, the International Court of Justice Award for Democratic Republic of Congo had to pay money. It's an obligation on the state of Uganda. You must pay. Reimbursement of Bank of Uganda for the money which they lent government during COVID lockdown. BOU gave us money because we couldn't collect tax when you were locked down. So we had to pay them back this money, but also addressing security threats. And these are the typical classified budget, which is usually issued under the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, as well as the State House. Security is not for debates. When those who are in charge of security, led by His Excellency the President, tell us they are threats for the country, those ones can't wait. Some people say, well, how can you allocate money for that before you have gotten money for school? which, for example, a school cannot happen without without security. You can't go to school when terrorists are banning children in school. So those were the 4 major categories of the supplementary. Now you will find that some of the items in the 4 categories, somebody would do, and I've been hearing a number of my friends debating them. Does it qualify for supplementary? Was it unforeseen? Couldn't it wait? I would like to interrogate them in light of the 4 categories I've given you, and you see whether you could succeed in suspending any. But that does not mean that we have been just putting things on supplementary. No. As I told you last year, we have started a very serious operation, stopping unjustified supplementaries. So in my office there, I managed to arrest letters asking for supplementaries worth 3.56 trillion shillings. The Internal Auditor General, recently I gave him the box of those requests for supplementary, worth 3.56 trillion shillings, which different entities in government had requested, but I kept them there. I don't even give them to my officers to look at them. Now at the end of the financial year, I said, you calculate and we see. I am now arresting other letters which are coming in. So we are not here to just give supplementary, but those which are critical, as was anticipated by the law, please always discuss them in that context.
And now, Julius Mukunda, the Executive Director of Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG, a budget transparency and accountability organization, has faulted government for failing to allocate money for the organization of the NAM and G77 plus China summits.
But Chair, again, I think we need to ask a fundamental question as to why some of these activities are not in the budget. From the beginning, that should be planned for, because we know, for example, that NAM was approved 2 years ago, and it required a supplementary budget now. We know that Uganda Bureau of Statistics really had a plan to conduct census. Why would it then require a supplementary budget? Was it lack of planning or lack of prioritization, like you said? So we believe that if you could be a bit more stricter on these agencies, and I think one of the key areas we have mentioned is that there has been a consistent decline in the Ministry of Finance plan to strategically guide ministries on where to allocate money at first. Because when we leave agencies to allocate on their own and they forget these critical areas like counting our own people, we think that really the Royal Minister of Finance should come back and guide these ministries on what they are supposed to do. We are glad that the OAG has released the report, not only on the wage issues that we raised last time, but also a number of issues, Chair. I think our concern right now is that some of these issues don't require Parliament first sit and discuss them. There are issues you can deal immediately because you have the administrative powers to do so. Issues about wage that we have talked about, issues about where the Auditor General went in a district and he could not get accountability at all, money was lost. We believe that they require immediate action by your office, and we look forward to that. On domestic areas, we are glad that actually you have performed even before more than what you had promised. But Chair, despite these warnings we give out on a quarterly basis, and with the presence of the strategy to eliminate domestic areas, the areas have continued to increase. By the Auditor General, it's calculated that they have increased by 62% in one financial year, from 4.6 trillion in 2021 to 7.55 trillion in 2022. In our calculation, Chair, going by this rate of the proposed allocation of 217 billion, it might take you like 35 years to clear all the areas, assuming that no more areas we are going to we are going to accumulate. Chair, on that note, let me say thank you so much for this, and we continue to support you in ensuring that there is budget transparency in this country.
And then to other news, the Directorate of Traffic Police has tipped students, parents, motorists and the general public about road safety precautions. Michael Kananura, the Traffic Police spokesperson, has asked road users to exercise discipline while on the road to enable students and other pedestrians to cross, and children below the age of 12 must be accompanied by elders on motorcycles. This call comes at a time when schools are set to open for the first term come Monday, February 5th of the term of 2024 academic year.
To observe our speed limits, to exercise maximum discipline and patience to enable students and other pedestrians to cross. Those that carry more than 2 children are strongly warned by the traffic police. All children transported on motorcycles are required to put on crash helmets. Children need not to be left alone while using roads. Parents, guardians, caretakers and teachers need to escort or accompany them, especially on busy roads. Drivers are strongly warned on carrying excess and interference to safe driving. Students are also advised to take buses, taxis, and border borders from recognized stages. Use recognized motor vehicles for taxis with checked band to avoid conmen and kidnappers. Do not board a tinted vehicle or take note of the registration number, plate of the motor vehicle or border before you board. And all pedestrians must walk while facing the oncoming traffic. Cross the roads at the zebra crossing where they are available. And before you cross the road, you are supposed to check right, check left, right, then cross if there is no any vehicle crossing. The school administration should also ensure that the shuttles are in good mechanical condition, and they should avoid carrying excess, and trucks must not be used to carry students either to trips or other destinations. The school shuttles should have caretakers in them to monitor the pupils who are being transported in these school shuttles.
And in a bid to have all students registered countrywide, the National Identification Registration Authority, NIRA, is set to carry out a mass registration of all unregistered students in schools this term. The exercise targets all students in both primary and secondary schools who have never been registered. According to Osborne Mushabe, Manager of Public Relations at NIRA, upon registration, students below 16 will be issued with NIN numbers, and those above 18 will be given national identity cards.
As NIRA, I would like to inform the general public, especially the parents, that we shall be carrying out a mega exercise in schools this term in a bid to have all students registered countrywide. This exercise will target all school-going children or students in primary and secondary schools who have never registered for national IDs. And we need to note that we register Ugandans of 2 different categories. Ugandans who are below 16, or students who are below 16, upon successful registration, will be given national identification numbers, or what we call NINs, while those above the age of 16 will be given national identity cards. And it is also important to note that as NIRA, we derive our mandate from the Registration of Persons Act, and Section 5 of that act lays down the clear functions of NIRA, and as of course as NIRA as an authority. And the key amongst those functions, we have identification and registration of citizens. We thus register all citizens for national IDs, but we have to note that most of our young citizens below the age of 16 have not been registered and would thus want to undertake this process before we get onto the mass enrollment and mass renewal exercise. So for citizens who have not been registered, our young citizens, we thus encourage you to report to school with photocopies of your parents' IDs, because this will be a key requirement as we try to register all these young citizens. We need to note that for one to be registered as a citizen by birth, he or she, this young citizen, his or her parents or grandparents must have been living in Uganda by 1926, when the borders of this country were demarcated. And for you to prove this lineage, it is always important, or it is always prudent for you to have at least a photocopy of your parents' IDs. So we thus call upon our dear parents out there to give out their photocopies of IDs to the students or to their children when they are reporting back to school, to enable them register successfully for national IDs. After being registered, our dear young citizens will be given NINs, and these NINs can be used to attain birth certificates, to access education, especially via UNEB registration, and even protection against child trafficking, financial empowerment through opening bank accounts, and of course accessing passports and driving permits. And in line with sections 53 and 76 of the Registration of Persons Act, we would also like to encourage our dear young citizens to desist from falsifying information and other registration offenses. We have had cases prior of students falsifying information, especially on age, clans, indigenous communities, places of origin, and it is thus prudent that before reporting to school, these young citizens should be well furnished with clear information by their parents to enable them register for national IDs successfully. We also need to be cognizant of the fact that when we register these children who are below 16, they have to come back to do an update when they attain the age of 16. And it has come to our attention that several young citizens, however much they have been issued or they have been given NINs, they have not bothered to come back to NERA offices to register or to do what we call an update. And it has become hard for them to attain national IDs. So we do encourage them that we do encourage all of you young citizens or students who are registered while below the age of 16 and you are successful given national identification numbers, or what we call NINs, to heed to this call and come to our offices, or in case we come to your schools for registration during this term, to come and update your details for you to be able to get national IDs.
And now, at a function held in Kasindi, Eastern DRC, 50 Congolese that were abducted by the ADF rebels and rescued by joint forces of the UPDF and Operation Suja have been handed back to the DRC. Details follow.
UPDF and FRDC have a memorandum of understanding signed by the two presidents of Uganda and Congo to deal with the ADF. If the two presidents decide that UPDF and FRDC should go and deal with any other rebel group in Congo, then UPDF is ready, FRDC is ready to do that. But as to say that there is a plan for UPDF and FRDC to finish ADF, then we move to another rebellion, no, that will be a new MOU. So at the moment, we only go by what we have signed for. Remember, it's a long process. Parliament president, parliament comes down to the militaries. So if the two heads of states and parliament decides that we move into another rebel group, well, that's well and good. The Congolese are our brothers. We have been fighting with them since I don't know how long. So we shall do that if the authorities accept. Yeah.
Circonstance Swahili kwa ngumu.
Zungumza wewe hata Kifaransa hamna tabu.
Tu hapa ku circonstance ya échange ya watu. C'est-à-dire nini? Fruit ama travail abattu dans les opérations conjointes kazi tunafanya pamoja na wandugu wetu wa UPDF iko kila mara. Kwa leo ni kucirconstance ya kukamata wandugu wetu wa Kongomani wenye walikuwa Uganda à travers ONG Bridgeway, na sisi pia kuendelea tuna kazi tunafanya. Tunaleta Waganda ine, ndani ya Waganda ine kuko wale walikuwa wakombata, c'est-à-dire walikuwa wa vrai ADF. Na but surtout ya nyinyi mwenye kuona hapo ni kudekuraje wale wa elema ya IPDF nini ya ADF wenye wiko kupori. Wataona wenzao wenye tunawakamata hatukuwaua, kwani wa rais wawili walishasikilizana namna gani tutie usalama ku Kongo na namna gani tutie usalama kwa jirani. Kwani wanasema nyumba ya jirani kalungula, ifo kujua namna gani kuuzima ile moto haraka, sino itavuka na kwako. Ndio kwa maana kila mara mwisho ngambo yetu tunaleta wapiganaji, na nyinyi mnawakamata mapicha na mtawauliza, watamielezea. Wakati mtapitisha kuma radio, wengine wa elema wa ADF wenye wiko wa Gande ama wa Kongole watayua namuna gani ya kuacha ile kazi ya kuzorotesha kietide ama kufreiner développement entre deux pays.
Christelle nali wafe ngatuzanya gundo muzanyo gw'abaana kiro kati nembulira kyasi kimu waggulu naye ngamba bannange ngenda wafe ne bandeka ngenda wafe, kumbe bayimiridde mabbali ga nnyumba yaffe ne bankwata ne batutwala ne batwala n'ebintu byaffe naye bawaffe badduka.
Operations from the Directorate of Crime Intelligence have arrested a border rider who has been on the run since last year after allegedly taking part in the 2.2 billion shillings robbery of the home of NRM Treasurer Barbara Nekesa. The police spokesperson Frenanga said Ivan Lukungu, 25, also known as Palazzo, has been on the run since December 5th, 2023, when the robbery orchestrated by police officers that guarded the home of the NRM treasurer. Enanga said operatives tracked him down and arrested him in Masaka City.
They tracked down Lukungu Ivan, alias Palazzo, aged 25, a resident of Nyendo, in connection with the robbery of cash which occurred in the home of Ajilu Moro and his wife, Honorable Ambassador Nekesa. It took them about 3 days of active surveillance to arrest the suspect along Edward Street in Masaka. Confirmed that he received Uganda shillings 120 million as his cut out of the loot, which is spent as follows. He bought a Toyota Harrier at 62 million, a restaurant at 10 million, a house at Nyendo Mukude at 20 million, a plot along Nabugabo Road, Masaka, at 15 million. He also bought an electric shop at Goodwill worth Uganda shilling 16 million. We were trying to find out if he was linked to the robbery of US dollars 86,000, which happened at Pride Theater. But so far the evidence we have delinks him or doesn't connect him to that incident. He now becomes the 13th suspect in that robbery.
Thank you for watching UCTV News. Let's take a look at today in history. And once again, thank you for watching UCTV News. We are now going to take a very short break and we'll be back.
UCTV, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage dirty money
with a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune into Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Toboka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasese Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
It's unbelievable. Now, companies, businesses, and organizations can make bulk payments easily with Centenary Bank's corporate center SWIFT to anyone without the need of a bank account, anywhere, anytime, just like that. The recipient needs only their phones, national ID, and token number received via SMS to withdraw money from any center agent nearby. The Centenary Bank's corporate center SWIFT is simple, secure, and convenient. You think it's too good to be true? Visit any of our branches countrywide or visit www.centenarybank.co.ug to know more. Centenary Bank. Centenary Bank is a member center group regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
UCTV, good news for all.
Welcome back. This is UCTV News. It is time now for the Rome Reports. And finally, in sports, the National Motocross Championship kicked off over the weekend at Garuga Raceway Track in Entebbe with riders dominating in their various classes. Gift Sebuguzi won the 125cc class, Jerome Mobiru won the 85cc class, Jonathan Katende won the 65cc class, and Jude Kyle Musede won the 50cc class, as Semugenze Mustafa reports.
My name is Jerome Mobiru. I'm in 85cc. Today, the competition has been good, and I've won. I'm going to win. I'm going to be the champion of this year. The competition has been good. I gave them a head start because I didn't want to lose speed.
Hi, my name is Barry Notea, and I ride MX65. Everything was good. The race was okay. The competition today has been amazing. To probably come top 5 in the championship. After here, my next race is going to be in Kenya.
My name is Isaac Mitima. I ride 65. The competition was really good and competitive. This year, I expect in championship to be either first or second.
My name is Noel Sekama Josiah. I ride 50cc junior. Today's position was good and today's track was good. This year I expect to be number 1, number 2 or number 3, the podium finishers.
My name is Laraiza Sekamo. I ride in 65cc. My race has been good today. My expectations this year is to be number 1.
Sebuguzi. nzigira mu 125cc class. Olunaku lungembedde bulungi leero. Mpangudde zonna hits. Era ni musanyufu ku performance yange leero. Era nebaza bonna abawagizi, nebaza bonna abantu abaze leero. Omwaka guno tusuubire redemption ku Africa's Nations. Njagala kuwangula Uganda Nationals in East Africa n'okugattako Africa.
My name is Ramadan Mubiru. I ride 65cc. And today's race was proper good. I've done too much. I put all energy in the race. I've been loving myself, jumping jumps and feeling good. The first event I've rode properly, and the expectations are I'm going to Netherlands, so I wish to win and represent Uganda, go to Morocco and represent Uganda as well. Yeah, and then I go to Kenya. We have to put too much energy so that we can win all the races coming.
My name is Jonathan Katende, riding 65. I'm 10 years old, and today's race was good because I've taken all the 3 hits. My expectations to take the championship of this year and qualify in the World Junior and be in the top 5 on the African race and be the first in the East African race.
My name is Jude Kyle Musede. My class is 50cc senior. It was good. I became number 1 and my bike was sound. My expectations is to win this class and go to 65cc.
And with our sports segment, that's all we had for you today, Monday. Do stay tuned to the Uganda Catholic Television. For more programming still comes your way. I am Sunday Gloria Abwatch, wishing you the best of this evening. Good night.